What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you my 536-day update of my daily investment into Vanguard's VOO. Back in January 21st of 2024, I started investing in a brand new portfolio right here on this channel. And since that time, I have added 4 additional investments to this portfolio, and we switched from a daily investment challenge to a small portfolio builder challenge. And since that time, there have been so many of you guys that have jumped in and started investing, a lot of you for the very first time. And later on in the video, I'm gonna definitely be taking a look at some of the comments that you guys have left since my last video. You guys know that I love reading the comments that you guys leave on my videos, because I truly believe that a lot of the comments and questions that you guys leave will help someone on their investment journey as well. If you've been paying attention to the stock market since the beginning of the year, then you know we've been kind of in this band that we've been trading in, where one day the market looks like it wants to sell off and hit 52-week lows, and then the very next day it looks like it wants to buy up all those dips and try to reclaim those 52-week highs. A lot of that volatility in the market can be attributed to the AI space, where you've got companies like Microsoft, Amazon, and Palantir all selling off into areas where I think are attractive buy zones for each one of those companies. I recently posted a video on my channel where I was talking about some of the stocks that I'm watching for 2026. If you haven't had an opportunity to check that out, I'll make sure to leave a link down in the description below. Let's take a quick look at a heat map as of today. And as you could see on the left-hand side, that represents the technology sector. And as you could see, a majority of those companies within the S&P 500 in the technology space are red. And a lot of these stocks are the companies that drive the S&P 500. All right, so now we're gonna take a look and see how my investment has been performing. So if you take a look at the top left of my screen here, you can see I have an open P&L of $474.67, and I'm up 17.5% since I started investing in this position back 536 days ago. And if you take a look to the right, you see I have my daily P&L. So as of the recording of this video, I'm down $16.41, or just roughly 0.5% on the day. This position will fluctuate, so I'm not really concerned about daily fluctuations unless we start seeing something in excess of 10%. Then that will really start to catch my attention. And then if we take a look right below that, we'll see the market value, $3,185.97. Total cost, $2,711.30. Average price, $534.36. And I have just over 5 full shares of VOO. This is an expensive index fund to have a full share of. And I have received that comment from some people in the past, but as you can see, the ability to invest in fractional shares takes away the excuse of not being able to invest in some of the index funds that you really like. And if you take a look at the position ratio, VOO makes up 32.44% of my investment portfolio. At the beginning of the year, I started investing in Vanguard's VTI. So I'm now investing $5 on every single trading day into that position. And I really want to see how that impacts my position ratio across my other investments in this portfolio. And then the last price that I was able to purchase VOO at was $627.91. All right, now let's flip over and we're gonna take a look at this screen right here, which is gonna give us a little bit more details into VOO. As of right now, we are trading at $627.96. We opened on the day at $628.95. and right in the middle. And I always like to watch the 52-week low and the 52-week high. And as of right now, the 52-week high, $641.81. So even with all of the movement going on in the market, VOO is still trading near 52-week highs. So that's one of the reasons I really like investing in index funds, because that volatility is not gonna impact your position as much as individual stocks. And then if we take a look at the 52-week low, $438.94. All right, so now we'll go ahead and flip over and take a look at a monthly candlestick chart. I wanted to show you this chart because I think it's a really good illustration of how VOO has been moving. And as you can see, we've seen this stair-step approach as this position continues to creep up. All over the past few months, we have seen some resistance there at the top. So it's really going to be interesting to see how we actually move into March of 2026 and what that looks like for VOO. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the performance of VOO. And as you can see, since its inception, it has crazy returns. We're not going to look at that far back. I really want to focus on the last year, which this position is up 13.65%. To me, that's a pretty good return. That beats the market average of 10%. And then over the last 3 months, 4.29%. And then the last month, down almost 1%. So as we head into March, I'm going to have my eye on the performance of this fund. All right, so now I'll quickly touch on dividends. So since January 1st of 2024, I have received a total of $28.96 in dividend payouts. And those dividends have been reinvested back into my position of VOO. And the last dividend that I received was for $8.40. The next dividend is scheduled to be paid out at the end of March of 2026. All right, so now I'm going to be taking a look at some of the comments that you guys left on my last VOO update video. So the first comment here is, I'm rocking with VTI, $10 a day on auto, on Robinhood. Let's rock. So Aaron has been investing with me since the very beginning, back in January of 2024. He started out with investing in VOO and he switched to VTI. One of the main reasons that I wanted to highlight this comment was because just because he started in VOO and just because this video is about VOO doesn't mean that that's what you have to invest in. That's why I started adding additional index funds into this portfolio to show you guys, look, you can invest in your favorite index funds that have your favorite stocks. As long as you stay consistent and you're in the market, then that's all that matters. So shout out to you for continuing to invest since the very beginning. The next comment, started learning about investing 5 years ago, started investing 2 years ago. It gets addicting. I'm constantly thinking of ways to spend less just so I can throw anything into my investments. So I really like this comment. On a prior video, I made the comment that it's almost becomes like a game when you start investing in the stock market. At first, you're starting to invest, you're just watching it. And as you see those numbers go up and down, you start to try to find new ways to find money to invest in the market. So maybe you don't go out to lunch with your coworkers or dinner as much as you used to, and you take that money and you put it into the market. I'm telling you, it's definitely addicting, and I definitely understand where you're coming from. Next comment, the Vanguard portfolio is looking great, still working at it, and the growth looks great. I think that this time next year, VOO will be close to 800, VGT about 900, and VTI 450 to 500. I totally agree. I think that VOO is eventually going to be a $1,000 per share index fund in the future. It has continued to perform and climb to all-time highs. And I think that we are going to see it hit that $1,000 threshold within the next 3 to 5 years. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? And then the last comment that I'll read is, I invest $500 a month into VTI. Would you suggest I allocate my investments monthly, weekly, or bi-weekly? And does any of these increments have an advantage over the other? So really good question. And the way that I would answer that is it really depends, because if you're looking to dollar cost average, spreading that out over a month is probably the better approach, at least from my opinion, but it really doesn't matter. What matters the most is that you're in the market. So for example, for this portfolio that I'm investing in on my channel, I'm investing daily. But in my brokerage accounts, my other accounts, I'm investing weekly. And then my Roth 401k that I have through my employer, I invest in that monthly. So it really doesn't matter. The biggest thing is that you get in the market, you stay in the market, and let continued investments and compound interest do its thing. So that's my 536-day update into VOO. I'm up about 17.5% since I started investing in this back in January of 2024. And all I've done is set up my auto investments to go in every single day and purchase $5 worth of VOO. And I haven't had to do anything. I don't check it. I don't go in and review it until it's time to make these videos to go over with you guys. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. We just started the $5 a day investment challenge at the beginning of January of 2026. Leave me a comment. Let me know, did you jump into that challenge, or have you already started investing? And if so, how's that going for you?